It is the RIOT podcast. Hello.
Hey, Obi's back. Thanks, Hudson, for being a part of the podcast yesterday.
I even saw somebody commenting that they like it when Hudson fills in.
I think he has a fun time.
Good.
So at least
I'm
I
really
hope.
glad.
If not, he plays it off like he does.
Well, honestly, and I say this with all respect, as long as he makes people think he likes it, that's all that really matters.
That's all he needs to do. Sorry if you feel fooled, everybody.
Sorry. Thank you, Hudson, for always being available there like that. I really appreciate it. So today in the show, we talk about Netflix, Biden bucks, the American Psychological Association.
Just teasing. We won't check again. Why would we do that?
No, let's do it right now.
Okay, let's check. See, does anybody... Anybody have their... But I think it'll be like next Wednesday. I don't think anybody's going to get it. Though someone else texted in and said...
To check tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's Monday. Is Monday something?
Uh-oh.
What?
Everyone must be checking because
Did they put the notice up?
No, I just can't get logged in at all.
Oh, I logged in and there's nothing there yet.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Everybody's looking.
This is falling apart. No. Okay, there. I got it. I didn't get it.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll keep checking this weekend, and obviously everybody will be checking next week to see when they get their money.
The Chalupa is back. Tenet is now on the Game Boy Advance.
It's not the Chalupa. It's the Quesalupa.
Quesalupa.
Remember?
Right.
It's the Quesadilla Chalupa. He's changing the title.
Chalupa. Yeah, sure. If you say so, I'm in. Let's see. Stealing MacBooks, key lime pie. Eric stops by with a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And we look back on the great toilet paper shortage of 2020.
Man, 1 year later. 1 year.
Nikki said something. Well, you listen, but it's...
Well, I don't want it to make it... Like, I have had no said to me a lot, so I don't want this to come off that way. But I have never, and I was so shocked back then a year ago when we had no toilet paper on Amazon, no toilet paper at Costco, and I had never been told, no, you can't, there is none when it comes to toilet paper.
Hey.
So that was why it was so shocking back then. It's not like I'm spoiled. I've never heard no before.
No.
It was just the fact it was toilet paper.
What I was thinking about is not that, because I agree with you. There's a lot of things where it's like, this hasn't worked out. Get over your disappointment.
You're fine.
But like, when it comes to toilet paper, you're like, no. This isn't where we learn to deal with disappointment.
Exactly. Never had that before.
No, I was talking about, you said something like, oh, remember that?
Well, yeah, you look back and you made it through it.
Yeah, you look back and it's like, that was kind of fun. And at the time you were like, we can't go to the bathroom.
Hold it. Or you were still working. You had to hold it till you came into work. Those were adventures, Obi. We were living the life of an adventurer.
Oh, we are. Uncharted territory for sure.
With no toilet paper and the worry of what was to come with it. And would you ever get any toilet paper again?
Well, hey, I hope that you guys enjoy your weekend. I hope that you get your Biden bucks and that you're able to find something fun, but also make responsible choices.
Look at that. Look at that. The best of both. Mature. We are fun mature.
Well, and you guys, hey, I hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the riot. RadioU.
Do you remember Radio Shack?
Oh yeah, wasn't that place in Nashville?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. It's exactly that. That's exactly where it was. I
can't even tell you the story.
We can't tell it to you. It's so bad.
It's so bad and it's so involved. It's just horrific. But
it's complicated.
Just in our riot history, know that there was an incident
at a Nashville Radio Shack.
At a Radio Shack in Nashville, and that's all we'll say. But I really wish we could explain it all.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, I recall it though. I don't know if I've been in one, but I think that's what that was.
Yes,
I was in the car, which is where the
me too.
was.
That was things were said in there. Things were said.
Okay, anyways, yes, Radio Shack.
Okay, so Radio Shack, they used to be like the place where if you needed
like a Best Buy or
yeah, kind of,
just
but
smaller.
not Best Buy. It was stuff like I mean, this was back when like nerds were nerds. So if it was like, yeah, I need some more stuff for my soldering iron.
Like a Micro Center then?
Closer. Yeah. So they used to be a thing, but I mean, they closed down because they couldn't compete to save their life or their company and just whatever. Though the other side of that now is that when you need the kind of things from time to time that they used to sell at Radio Shack, you're like, crap, now I got to wait 3 days to get this delivered because I can't just go buy it.
Sure.
And maybe I should just be grateful that I can get it delivered. Shut up. I don't know. But I see that. This has just come up as an ad. It's totally random. But apparently Radio Shack, the brand, has been purchased by somebody, and they've brought them back online.
Oh, it's similar to, what was the toy store?
Toys R Us.
Like Toys R Us, like, you can purchase, if a company goes out of business, you can buy not only like the stores or the stock, but you can buy the name and the image and stuff. So someone did that with Radio Shack?
So they did, and I feel like this is just a front to sell Radio Shack T-shirts.
Could be, actually, probably.
That's what it feels like, because when I look at this,
because that retro would be the look for it.
Exactly. The stuff they're selling is total crap, which really does bring back some of the Radio Shack experience. If you were
captured,
you guys did it. You did it.
So they're just only selling merch, or
yeah, I mean, like you can buy a little Radio Shack radio. If you want to, they have two different kinds, actually. You can get the T-shirts, and then they also have, like, think about maybe a couple of things that you maybe would have found at Think Geek, but not as good. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Feels like maybe if you went to the last Blockbuster, the merch they would make with that.
Yep, there it is. So, well, I guess I'm just letting you know, if you feel the need to relive that store, and I couldn't tell you how long it's been since it closed. A while. Just know that every time we see a Radio Shack logo, we think about stories we can't tell.
I mean, it was really special.
It was a moment.
just a moment in time.
What's worse than the worst of the Riot? The Worst of the Riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. Radio U.
So there is an email that's circulating. Oh, scandalous. No, it's not. It's just that apparently Netflix is trying to crack down on people for using other people's Netflix accounts.
Yeah, for sharing passwords. So, like, if you're logging in with someone else's,
yes.
Some of it's not even an email, but they've just had this notice pop up when they log in.
It says if you don't live with the owner of this account, you need your own account to keep watching. Now, we
knew that, but...
Here's something they should consider. Yes, it's true. We have different quarters on Spaceship Earth, but we definitely still live on the same planet together.
Yeah, they want you in the same house.
House Earth.
Moving
through the cosmos.
Not the bigger picture house, but the smaller one that's your apartment or your space you call your own.
You know, Nikki, who can own the space?
They can. Netflix says you can.
So they say, right? So they are saying, like, hey, guys, you really need to stop password sharing. We need more people buying Netflix so we can continue to bring the programming that you'll put in your queue and not watch. It's important.
It looks like if you get that notice, they want you to verify and stuff. So it depends on where you're at and how that moves into a normal notification for everybody. But they want to really make sure that if you're using it, it's yours.
So, all right, right now on the table, how many people are you sharing your Netflix password with right now?
Netflix? None.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, how am I phrasing that? Netflix is none.
Well, I'll tell you this, Sister Nikki. I reactivated HBO Max last night.
Oh, did you? Hey, brother, thank you.
You're ready to log right on back in.
All right. See, I mean, to me, it's more like, who are they to say who's not family?
Hey,
that's more along the lines.
I'll just tell you right now, I spend more time with Nikki than I do my family. Seems reasonable. It seems totally reasonable.
That's right.
No, my parents are on my Netflix account.
Oh, so that they might get the notification?
Maybe. I don't know.
What if they get confused and give it to you? They think you're the one. It's like, it's not me. It's them, cutting in on it.
Well, I can already guarantee you they're watching it more than I am.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like, we lived in the same house for how many years? Come on!
Who are they to go against your parents, who are probably the ones you're sharing with? But Netflix, has said in their terms of service has always been that if you have an account, if you're using it, your users must be in the same household. That's just something they've never really enforced, but it's just gone on a long time.
This is a random tweet. Somebody, his name Scott, says, when is the world going to realize there are only 7 people on Earth actually paying for Netflix?
Everybody else is just sharing.
Everyone is just sharing those passwords.
And know that Netflix is doing it now, and then everybody else will follow as well. So it'll just become harder to be able to share your stuff.
It's going to get harder to share. Prices are going to go up, and eventually, I'm telling you, we're almost there. People are going to look back lovingly at cable like, when I was your age, we got everything for one low price. Yep. But in the meantime, we got Netflix and HBO. Woo!
Yay!
Let the fun begin.
And so many others.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Big news yesterday afternoon, Nikki. We getting paid.
The stimulus stuff is coming.
Man, President Biden signed that into law. We getting paid.
We talked yesterday again about, is everybody going to save it, or what are we going to do? And Hudson, who filled in yesterday, didn't really have, much.
You didn't have a plan?
Not as much. He spent, he said he spent the December one, on some car stuff. So there wasn't, anything.
That's a bummer.
Really out there for this one, which is sometimes the worst because it's so tempting then.
I did that too. The stimulus, I bought new tires. Mm-hmm. And then I also bought, I did the recommended maintenance, which includes a water pump replacement. Let me tell you what, you don't want to do that yourself. You don't.
You need someone. And so that means you're going to be paying a premium. Just a little extra.
They wanted $150 to replace the spark plugs. I was like, all right.
You can do that.
Just because I said replace the one thing. I mean, I know I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
Oh, don't say that, because I would pay him to change that out. I don't know how to change them.
Hey, Nikki, you pay me $150 to change your spark plugs the next time you want them swapped out.
That way I can at least trust what's happening.
And I'll tell you what, ma'am, I'll take care of everything for you. I'll open the hood and I'll close it.
Can you rotate the tires and do all that stuff? Don't want to do any of that?
Just $150.
Just the spark?
They weren't doing all that. That was just the spark plugs.
Well, I'll tell you the next time I go in then.
Yeah.
Most people just don't go in.
I know.
So you just don't find out. You're like, oh, that's such a shock. You mean something needs done?
Yeah, there was a lot of things. It was a whole thing. So, anyway, back on track. You're getting $1,400
per person.
Per person. And if you're married with kids, or I don't know how you file.
It's still $1,400 per person, but then a dependent gets $1,400 as well.
What?
I'd be like, everybody depends. We depend on all of each other.
I'll just tell you right now, I have 2 friends that have, actually 3. It's weird in my neighborhood. People have 1 million kids.
How much money are they getting?
My one, they have 5 kids, 6 kids. They're getting so much money.
They're not giving the money to the kids, are they?
No. No. You count
this
them.
Is for everything.
That's 8 of them. That's, what is that, $11,400? 11,000. You could go buy a car.
Oh my!
I mean, not maybe a brand new one, but
something.
Just you get a car.
That is. I'm happy for anyone who's in that world.
I mean, I don't want to be responsible for all that life, but whatever.
Well, it really paid off then, right?
It did. You can't say it didn't.
So they're saying that they always say it's a few days earlier than it really is. So some were saying that if you're one of the lucky early ones, you might start seeing it even today.
What?
But for most,
today?
It's going to be later next week, probably starting on a Wednesday, Thursday.
What the
And you're
heck?
supposed to just look at your bank, because your bank, it takes time for it to get released to them.
Man, I'm
then
logging
release
in right now.
To then release to you to see if it's actually there. So that's when they're probably expecting it to go into people's bank accounts.
You're telling me that I stand to have $1,000-something deposited in my bank account, maybe as early as today.
You're probably not going to get it today, but maybe. Yeah, I don't see anything pending.
Let's see, checking. Oh, look. No, instead of getting something, I see that I've paid my cable bill.
Yay! It's the other way.
Whee!
But it should be soon, so that'll be a good help to people, I guess.
Well, I just want you to know right now, like, I love getting out of bed in the morning because you're telling me that I'm just winning money.
Well, now we're doing the whole let's check our bank account 25,000 times a day.
Yeah. I'm ready.
And then my bank will put the notice up like, please don't. And
please stop checking in. And I'm like, bro, I'm spinning that wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Speaking of wasting money, I had someone, David, you know who you are, thank you, who was trying to help me get an Xbox yesterday.
Oh, are we on this still? We're still doing this?
Yeah, I'm Nikki, you know what?
I just want to know if we're being supportive for you to get the new Xbox, even though
I don't know
you go
anymore.
Back and forth.
Do you know what I'll tell you exactly why I'm here. I still have, and I think I told you guys this, in the middle of, I listened to the Spoiled Privileged Brat, so I'm sorry if this is not where you are, but like for whatever reason, I got more Christmas money than I've ever gotten in my entire life, period. Now, consequently, I've gained more weight than I ever have in my entire, I mean, like, in general, like my Bitcoin's up, numbers are up, people.
Numbers are up across the board.
Across the board, numbers are up.
So in case you're jealous on one, be jealous on everything.
If it makes you feel any better, I've been to the doctor a bunch. Those numbers aren't up, just fat.
Well, your trips is up, so like again, every number's up.
Yeah, so I have some Christmas money left, and I have something to sell, and I was like, wouldn't you like to just sell that thing and do this, and then it'd be a done deal? And it was like, yeah, I think I would.
But they're still harder to find sometimes?
Oh, yeah, they're just nowhere to be found. So
not the PlayStation, but the Xbox One?
Well, they're both, like, very hard to get. And so I just want to say thanks to David for helping out. See, yesterday I wasn't in because I am, continuing to fight whatever, and he was messaging me while I was asleep.
Oh, did you miss it then, or did you get one? Oh, that's too bad. Can you imagine how hard it'll be to get next week when people get their stimulus check?
I actually
Good
thought
luck,
that.
everybody. You're not getting one.
Bro, anything you think you're buying that's like an above and beyond whatever, it is like,
you need to magically find that this weekend. But if it's anywhere close to the deposit of the checks, that's what people are going to go out and buy.
Yeah.
That and the PlayStation. So if you're still trying to find a PlayStation, that's going to be a while too.
And again, like this just goes to show you, it really depends on where you are, because I have other friends that are out of work and like, they're literally going to take that and pay some bills. Though even my friends that are in that situation, we're like, yeah, but I'm taking some of it to do blank.
Some want to do something fun with it. And I understand that.
I got no qualms. But yeah, I'll just say that. Like if you're still on the hunt, it's not an easy thing to get a hold of.
But if you're not on the hunt for the newer Xbox, which one's that one called?
The Xbox Series X.
So if you're not on the hunt for that, but if you are a hunter and you want to look for Obi
you see
this
one,
weekend,
you let me know.
If you even just text us, like we see those texts, or at least I will, and I'll text Obi over the weekend, and I'll tell him where it's at.
Yeah, the other thing, 2 days ago, whatever's the last day I was here, I went to Micro Center.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
And people are still trying to buy graphics cards. I pulled up there right as they were opening. There was a line over 50 people deep at the door for when the door opened. And it was just like...
Everybody just wants to buy something. This is probably the wrong way to say it, but just something to make you feel a little bit better.
It's crazy.
Just one little thing, just something nice. And unfortunately, those are hard to find, which is why we're eating our feelings. So,
giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
The fine people at the American Psychological Association are looking to drum up some business. And so they've been asking people how much weight they've gained.
Oh, isn't that so personal?
I do love this. So, okay, here we go. They say that over the course of the last year, during the pandemic, 40% of Americans, 40% have gained weight. An average of 42 pounds.
42 pounds?
That's the average. They've gained an average of 42 pounds.
In 1 year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So a quarter of respondents admit to drinking more alcohol than they did before. That alcohol's got a ton of calories in
At the
it.
beginning of quarantine, man, everybody would go on walks, like we do a walk about the neighborhood.
I don't do that anymore.
And I remember, like, you'd go by and you could get a contact high off of people's, like, trash, and when they put their bottles out for recycling, like, it was intense.
It's real.
It's not as bad anymore. I think people leveled out a bit, but it was intense there in the beginning, and that causes a lot of weight gain.
It does. They say that Gen Z reports the biggest mental health strain from the pandemic. And Gen Z is, I don't even remember. That's like, at this point, I think Gen Z is like basically teenagers, right? Or is that 20s? Like, I can never remember.
I think if you were born, is it 95 or something? Or that just feels right. I don't know.
Sure. I'll take it.
If you're that, then that's that.
We'll allow it.
Great. None of us remember.
They say African Americans are the most stressed about returning to in-person activities. 35% of us say we get less sleep than we said we want to. And 31% say less than they did before the pandemic started.
Sure.
But let's see, a quarter of respondents admit to drinking more alcohol than they did before. I think I mentioned that. So just a heads up, like, it's taken its toll. I decided I have avoided, like, I've been getting on the scale at the doctor, and luckily I'm going to the doctor 18 times a week. So
problem solved.
No big deal.
Now you see what's there.
But I decided today, I was like, all right, bro, like, it's time to.
You
need to face some music here.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know exactly where you're at. And I got on the scale. 24 pounds.
24 pounds?
24 pounds.
24 pounds.
Since this time last year. That's a lot, especially considering that I basically, for a very long time, have maintained a right about and or just below the same weight.
But you stopped working out, and I think that's what really helped with that maintaining. But it doesn't I think it makes everybody feel better knowing we're all in the same slightly heavier boat.
Yes.
So we're all there, and you know, if you want to do anything about it, then everybody else is going to start trying to.
Right now, I'm trying. That was after I weighed myself, and I actually thought, I was like, you don't want to do this because you're going to feel bad. And I thought, listen, it's time, bro. Like, it's time. You got to face it. You got to face the consequences of your actions.
But everybody did.
Right. So then I get in the car after a while, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I care.
And that is the heart of everything right there. That's the problem. I can't tell you how many times a day and a week we say that.
I just found myself like in the car, and I was like, you know, we need to do this and this. We need to get back to this and do that. And I was just like, yeah, but I don't even know if I care.
The other day I was like, oh, you know, let's we're ready to do it. And I was ready to formulate a plan. And then I got McDonald's for the meal. And I was like, well, let's not do this while we're talking and eating McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, at some point, either someone's got to pull us out of it or we got to get out of it, but something's got to change. But
well,
maybe I'm almost ready.
If we want to change, that's fine. But I think we just have to realize that not everybody is as hard, I think, on people to make that change, if that makes sense. Like, there used to be a real big, oh, this is what we need to obtain by the summertime, you know,
right.
Like the summer body.
I haven't heard a lot of bikini body stories this year.
And I think a lot of people are just laying low and just saying, well, let's not pressure each other that way. And that might be a little helpful.
The bikini body crowd is like pumping out, it's unconstitutional to keep my gym closed. That's what their tweets are these days.
Well, like, honestly, we're all going to be still wearing hoodies in the summer to cover everything up. So it'll be fine.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, have you ever seen Tenet?
No, I have not.
Still
was that
haven't
the
watched
one
it?
from last year?
Yep.
Yeah. I heard
that
it was good. Eric saw it, but...
I've seen it now 4 times.
But you have it?
I do. I got it for Christmas, and, well... I like to watch it and eat, apparently. No,
earlier conversation.
Right. I've watched it, like I said, I think 4 times since I got it.
What's the story about?
It's
in one sentence. Is it like cops or time travel or
we'll just
a bad apartment situation or what?
It's about hating your neighbor.
Like they won't leave?
No.
You can't get rid of your tenant?
It's about time travel, but it is the most unique take on time travel I've ever seen. And if you like, I can see where you would watch it and be like, what's the big deal? That is a movie that rewards you for watching it. Mm-hmm. Like if you pay attention to the level of detail that's on display,
you'll keep noticing more things.
Oh man, it's incredible.
Good. That's worth it in a movie, so you can watch it over and over again.
It is incredible. But some people are still angry. Plus, they're hoping to get some people to click on their YouTube video. So that's the case with Bob Wolf. Bob Wolf was very angry with Christopher Nolan because in the middle of the pandemic last year, Christopher Nolan was out there saying, hey, this is a movie that needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible.
Christopher Nolan has some strong feelings towards things, and I think it's just his presentation that not a lot of people liked, but not everybody likes him.
It is what it is.
You don't even maybe like or know his movies, but you just maybe know that as a person.
Some people don't like the guy.
It seems like some people don't.
I'll tell you something right now. Anybody who's an artist that wants it their way, they're not well liked. Sometimes you like it. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, but they're always so like yelly and screamy. They must be tough to work with.
Oh, I don't want to work with them. Unless they can make me rich, and then I want to.
But again, probably amazing art at the end of it, but a lot of hardship to film it.
I love Nolan's movies. Well, he's out there pushing hard for you to come to the theater. And so this Bob Wolf guy was angry. He's like, this is so irresponsible. He shouldn't be doing this. So in it's not reverse tribute. He calls it spite. Mm-hmm. He has taken Tenet and he has encoded it to run on the Game Boy Advance SP.
I love people that have talent and spite to make it work.
And
so it's at the lowest quality?
Yeah. In order to make it work, he had to break it across 5 different cartridges.
He worked hard.
That you have to put in to watch it.
Because again, Christopher Nolan said that it wasn't like this movie was basically too good to watch on like your phone or at home, that you had to watch it in theaters because of the quality that he's giving you. So now this guy is trying to play the movie on a lowest quality possible, just to be mean.
So to give you an idea, the film's resolution, it's running at 192 by 128.
Wow.
Your average TV image these days, HD, is 1920 by 1080. So it's essentially a tenth of an HD image.
But on such a small screen, I wonder what it would look like.
I don't know. In this particular
photo, have like color graphics, or what did it have?
These are those Game Boys we had. The ones that flipped open.
Flipped open, okay.
Yeah. So like that.
And that must be hard to watch that movie on that.
He's just doing it to prove a point. Because he's just like, you wanted us to risk our lives. Here's how I'm going to watch it.
That's funny.
It is. But again, it's a great stunt to get some views on his YouTube channel. And I'm just looking at the photos of it. Hilarious.
See, for us, you get mad at him. You say you do a couple of tweets, something like that.
You're
Not
done.
a whole lot to back up your anger at him. But it's always funny when you see someone who really has a talent to take that spite to the next level. And it seems like this guy does.
This took time and effort, creativity, all that stuff.
Well, yeah, Tenet was in the theater situation. Those comments were like back in the early summer.
Of last year.
Like that was quite some time ago.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
You guys have probably heard stories and people are out there like, no, I really think this is the end of days. I really think this is the end. We're headed towards the end of all time. And I think this right here, if this is not a harbinger of the end, I don't know what is. Taco Bell's bringing back the Quesalupa.
Oh, now which one was that one?
Now maybe that...
That might not have been as important to you guys.
Well, what I want you to know, Nikki, is that it may not be the end of everything. It might just be the end of you. Like this.
Physically?
Right.
With your body?
This might be the thing that does you in. But society may continue. It's hard to know. But Taco Bell continues its war on your intestines.
They're honestly just going in and out with certain food items to try to figure out what's the cheapest and most economical things for them to keep on the menu that don't waste money.
Right. So the Quesalupa hit in 2016 and they took it away. It was a crispy chalupa shell made with a blend of melted pepper jack and mozzarella cheeses. Inside that puffy shell is beef, lettuce,
allegedly
cheddar cheese. Yeah, well, puffy shell is, in quotation marks, beef. Lettuce, cheddar cheese, diced tomatoes, sour cream.
It looks good. I don't know if I've ever had one, but it looks nice.
They say it's a quesadilla chalupa hybrid. I actually remember when they took them away because I knew people that felt like their entire world had just been destroyed.
Well, it's been 5 years, so now you can get one again.
Yeah, so it's coming back. They say that look for it in 2020
It's
sometime.
Thursday for a limited time.
Wait, today?
Yesterday. Yeah, it says it'll relaunch nationwide yesterday for a limited time. Doesn't mean that's in every location, but it is there.
Well, you know what? Good luck, everybody. Remember, before you go to Taco Bell, you pick up the Pepto first.
You have to do that. I've never been to Taco Bell and gotten sick. I don't go in.
Yeah, you know what?
I can't do that.
Anybody else feel like Nikki's part
bragging?
Of them?
Hashtag brag.
They've got
Taco Bell brag.
No, they've got Nikki. Obviously, you're receiving financial recompense for that statement because what's happening is Nikki's one of those people who's out there like, I've never experienced the feeling of creeping death after eating Taco Bell. That's ridiculous.
Actually, it's probably not smart of me to say that because that's just asking for it next time I do go. But it's hard when, you want the Quesalupa. You've been waiting 5 years. It's finally returned. And you go to your Taco Bell location and they're like, what?
The what?
We don't have that. And they just haven't started at that one yet.
Is this, I'm sorry, Quesalupa Bell?
Yeah. Just read the menu.
Taco Bell. You get a taco, you don't get a taco.
So
get out.
I get a little nervous if there's something that's like nationwide new back. You have to go and scout it out first to make sure, does that location have it yet? And be prepared.
I will say you always want to go on the first day, but your best bet is to go
you want to wait a few.
Couple days. Let them figure out how to do it.
Yeah, maybe later next week.
Monday?
No,
Tuesday?
Later.
You think so?
When the stimulus checks deposit.
You
can go and
then
celebrate. Everybody's
calling off work.
And get a Quesalupa.
Make your own Quesalupa.
No one wants to come in.
I've got an Xbox now.
There are some people that shouldn't have their own podcast. And by some people, we mean these people. RadioU's Worst of the Riot podcast.
This article comes from an old friend of ours, Lifehacker, that has become less and less relevant to the world today, but this is a good one. They say one of the things you want to do is if you haven't been running since last year, remind yourself that you're a temporary beginner.
Oh, good.
That, yes, it's true that you used to be able to run 5 to 10 miles like it was nothing. If you haven't been running, it's not going to feel that way when you start.
Isn't it true? I know they say, if you get off, stop riding your bicycle, get back on. It feels like you never forgot.
Not with running.
But with running, if you even take the tiniest bit of break, your body really will feel like it's starting over.
It's a very odd.
Mentally and physically.
Anything I've ever done, I've never had anything where you lose fitness faster than running. I mean, maybe that's not true. Somebody else is like, well, you should try hop keto. Okay.
It just goes away like that.
But in this particular case, it
will leave you.
So they say to make a plan. So maybe start with 3 runs a week. Grab a Couch to 5K program. I did that. They actually, in this Lifehacker article, they name drop halhigdon.com. And I'll have you know, the first couple times I ran a 5K, it was his running plans that I used.
Yeah.
And they were, obviously, I went from 0 to hero. So
that sounds like the name of a plan.
It does, right? They say to go ahead and make sure that your running shoes are still okay if they've just been sitting around. And don't be afraid. And this is actually great advice to take it slow. Look,
I was going to suggest maybe start walking and then work into running.
Well,
you got to start somewhere.
You'll notice that with a lot of Couch to 5K programs,
they
will
do that.
Yeah, they will. It'll be like, you walk this far and then you run a little bit and then you walk this far and you run a little bit. And then by the time you're done with it, it's usually a 6 to 8 week process. You're up to running a 5K. So, yeah, there you go. Don't say that Nikki and I are not out there digging out the best health tips for you for a strong and better life.
Let's say this. How about and this seems to be weaved throughout a lot of things we talk about. Just cut yourself some slack. Like, I know you want to go out there and be back to being the marathon runner, but if you just got to go back there and just try to ease your way into it and don't beat yourself up over it if it's harder in the beginning.
What about this? Does anybody, it just bloomed in my mind. It just came to me. New you in 22.
Wonderful.
We give up on this year. Like, don't worry about this year.
Doesn't matter how you used to be.
Just new you in 22. And
if you see someone out there who's like noticeably just getting back into it, you just give them a little encouragement.
Come on.
Not in a weird way, but just a nice, friendly way.
Yeah, you can do it.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on RadioU.
Not gonna lie, wasn't too interested when Netflix was like, we have a Resident Evil computer-generated show that's coming to our online streaming platform. Tell your friends.
Man, if you're not interested, you're the target with that.
I know, right? But you know what? They just released their first photos to give you a look at it. I'm in.
You were in?
Yeah, I'm excited because what they've done is they have taken I don't know that they're the exact computer models, but, most of the time, if you see a character in a game, it's modeled after an actor or actress, like a real person. And in this particular case, they are grabbing the same voice actors and the same performers, and they are using the recent games, Resident Evil 2 and 3, the remakes they did, they're using the same people.
Oh, okay. So if you're familiar with the game, you'll really like it. It'll feel just like an extension.
Yeah. And that makes me excited. And it comes out this year.
I didn't catch that it was a animated series. So it's a CG anime series, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness.
I actually thought that it also was
live action,
that they were doing a live action one, but
maybe that's the movies. And aren't they rebooting the movies?
That's also true.
Yeah, so maybe we were just thinking that.
And then there's a new Resident Evil game coming out in May, but I don't want to play that.
Well, that's your line.
It looks gross. Okay, Resident Evil 7.
Why wouldn't this look gross then?
Well, okay. Look, Resident Evil, if you go back and do the 2 and 3 remake, I'm not saying they're not gross, but it's like zombies gross. Resident Evil 7 was like, I can't sleep at night gross.
Too
weird,
real.
a mixture of gross and psychological horror and all this stuff. And I'm like, nah. But 2 and 3, you're like, I can't get away from the zombie. That's fine. I'm having those dreams anyway.
He's so used to that one.
You're
desensitized to that already.
I totally am.
Yeah.
I'll say I watched a zombie movie last weekend, not even scared. I'm just like, I hope you can get your foot uncaught from the thing. Oh, he got you. Whoops.
But this is still a little nerve-wracking.
No, this right here, this is what I'm interested in. That Resident Evil 7 and 8, guys, I'll just tell you, I don't have what it takes. I just don't. But this, I could watch this, sure.
Good. Well, if you work hard enough at this, maybe you'll work your way up to the other stuff.
Yeah. So
out this year, you'll get a anime series for Resident Evil from Netflix.
Yep, that's happening. And it looks good. Just thought you should know.
Just an update.
Hey, guys.
This has been your RE update.
What was in the news today? Obadiah thinks that picture looks cool.
And checks are coming. There's the two main things that the show brings you. And the Quesalupa.
I don't care what he says. I'm getting money and Taco Bell.
That seems to be the main top stories today, and we apologize.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, how much would you pay for this bottle of wine?
Bottle of wine? What is it? What does it look like?
Does it have any cartoon characters on it? Because I'd pay more for that.
Because I don't drink wine. Is it like a sparkling water, or what do we have?
I drink Pepsi.
No, we don't.
No, I don't. It's a Seinfeld thing. Remember where George brings the Pepsi?
Right.
Okay. So this is great. I've heard articles like this before, like studies like this, but it's amazing to see played out here. So some scientists in Switzerland, it's a little more complicated than I'm going to make it, but bottom line is this. They took 3 bottles of wine and lied to people about what the price was.
Yeah.
And while the expensive wine, even though they listed it at inexpensive, people still said, hey, this tastes really good. The cheap wine, if they told people that it was expensive,
they thought it was still cheap.
They thought it was good.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it's all about what we're told.
And so it was so much about perception. And I've heard things like that before, but here's the thing that I've been wondering in my own life. What could I convince myself is really good, even though it's cheap?
That's a good question.
Like,
no.
Hey, this crappy coffee sure is good.
Yeah, I think you actually put more effort into coffee than maybe the average person. But people have said there's plenty of coffee that we would consider more, inexpensive, that they say it's actually really good.
So
some people make it a journey, like a game to try to find cheap things that are actually really good. Yeah, absolutely. Because some stuff like, maybe say like Trader Joe's or Aldi's can be really affordable, but taste super good.
I'll tell you, there was a time
instead of Whole Foods.
Like I started going to Aldi.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got lots of great stuff.
I basically went to Aldi with a thing where I'm just like, look, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to try all these different things in here and I'll see what I like and don't. And basically for me, the only thing in that store that didn't pass muster was ketchup.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, you like yours.
Ketchup and peanut butter. Those two things where I just have a weirdly specific need for a very specific kind of peanut butter.
Maybe for us, it'd be like you go in for a really quality bar of chocolate. Like it's maybe a dark chocolate or it's got cacao in it. And then you turn around, you're like, well, I'll just take the Hershey bar.
Right.
Like it might just taste better to you.
Right. So I just thought it was an interesting idea. Like, I don't know where in our life we could apply this, but I just wonder, okay, if we could be duped into thinking that wine is quote unquote better than it is, whatever.
Even if it's a cheap bottle.
Right. Even if it's the cheap stuff, if I put a big price tag on it, you'll think you're buying quality and you'll experience quality based on your expectations. Then what could you and I do? Do we need to raise our expectations, Nikki?
Or be okay lowering them and know that it might just be fine.
Might be just as good.
Yeah, it's probably just as good.
But do we have to trick ourselves into enjoying the better?
Maybe.
Okay.
I bet we tend to like most things anyways.
That's true. They tried, in this case, like their wine thing, it was like 3 different levels. It was basically, let's see, a $12 bottle, a $30 bottle, and a $60 bottle. $60 and you're just going to drink it.
Oh, I think that still seems, there's probably way more expensive ones than that.
Listen, I'll have you know right now, if we go to a Circle K, you can get a Polar Pop.
The big one.
The big one is 99 cents. The in-between is 79.
Now, if you get yourself on a soda regimen, that'll change your life.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I'll get you a Polar Pop. Give me $20 for it.
Give the rest of the money.
We'll call it even.
May we introduce you to that sort of style of drinking?
Oh yeah, this is actually a freshly mixed soda. It's going to blow your mind.
The Riot is well versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
So, okay, get a load of this, Nikki.
Yes.
You won't believe this. You remember last year when I was supposed to go visit family in Oregon and then I got the death plague?
Yes, when you got COVID, yes. You were unable to travel.
I was. So when I booked called and I'm like, hey, I'm dying. And they're like, oh, okay.
We're not canceling, but you can reschedule.
Right. So you can get credit for whatever.
Sure.
I found out yesterday that if I don't use my credit by the first or second week of June this year,
it goes away?
It's gone.
But that's not even a full year.
I know.
Well, what are we going to do about that? Where are you going to go?
Well, I know. And that's why we were talking off air. I was thinking about going somewhere that
but that's too late then.
It's not. I looked.
But you said by June. Oh, if you don't book it by June. Oh, I heard if you don't go by June.
No, I do. I have to book and travel by the second week of June.
Yeah, okay. Well then, they changed the dates on that event. Now I get it.
Yeah.
I was still thinking it was later. I was like, that's in September, Obi. That's later. That's past June.
No, I know. That's just it, is that there was an event and I wasn't going to go. And now I'm like, you're halfway there.
You've got these tickets.
You got I have to spend them. So then you're like, well, why don't you go visit your family?
Yeah, don't you want to go to Oregon?
Here, get a load of this. Get a load of this, Nikki. It's our new segment. Get a load of this.
He's so excited.
I looked to see what those tickets would cost.
Yeah.
So my ticket, like my credit or whatever, is somewhere like it's right around $400.
Isn't it the price you would have paid for the tickets in the first place?
Yeah. So now traveling out west
to Oregon, yeah,
$1,000.
Oh, it's because it's such a small place. Such a small.
Even flying into Portland was
They know they got you.
There's
limited airports to make it easy travel into that state.
So
why you travel? Is it cheaper to still fly somewhere else and then drive in, or at this point it's just not worth it?
That would be Portland. Like I would fly to Portland and drive, but by the time you fly into Portland, rent a car, spend an additional 6 hours in the car. After a while, you're just like, what am I even doing?
Why didn't I go somewhere else? Well, so okay, now can you go and just like set the thing to $400
and just look around?
Yeah, see where you can go.
I have, and what's funny is like there's not a ton of options really. Mm-hmm. I could go to Vegas, which I thought about that. I was like, Vegas, and then I'm like, you know what? You don't need to go to Vegas. Like you.
Remember, it's just eating.
Where you currently
gamble,
in your
it's
life.
Just eating.
Right, I know, and that's what I thought. I was like, where you're at in your life right now, I don't think a trip to Vegas is really what you need.
Okay, so that's off the list.
Because you don't want to gamble, and you really shouldn't be eating.
That's gambling with your health.
Right. And then it was like, I'll fly to, and then it's like, well, where? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And then randomly checked my email, and there's the dates for this event, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe that. But maybe. I don't know.
You can go to Orlando.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the cheaper ones to fly in.
Well, it is. And that's the thing is the price of airfare, at least of what I've looked at, has gone up. And so I don't know. But, Nikki, I needed a story for our new Get a Load of This segment.
Now, you got to say
Get a load of this!
And put that on, like, some document of ours so we can remember next time you have something to get a load of.
Get a load of it, okay?
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
If you weren't with us moments ago, I explained to you how Amazon is watching always. And they are. Well, they're watching me. They saw me trying to buy something from a place that wasn't them, and I can't prove it, but I'm sure they intervened.
So in the end, Toby bought something that required cables, and it didn't come with the bundle or the item that he bought at the store, so he had to then buy the cables from Amazon. So they still got you.
Unbelievable. Now, in the middle of all of that, we have got to watch Amazon, Nikki, because this is the tale of a person. I actually don't know the names. And Amazon has said, hey, this is still under investigation here. Well, we don't know.
Vitali is the guy's name.
Okay. Why? Well, I thought that was the place.
No, it's Vitali.
I did. Vitali says he allegedly has video of an Amazon employee. He bought a MacBook from Amazon.
Yeah.
So he has footage of the Amazon employee coming up to his door, putting down the package, taking a photo of it to prove that it was delivered, and then walking away with it.
That was all the rage at Christmas time. There were so many security camera footages of delivery drivers doing that very thing. DoorDash drivers delivering your food, taking a pic, taking it with them, like all the delivery stuff being stolen by the driver.
I love so much that the driver took a picture of it.
Well, they do that.
I know.
Yeah, just so that to Amazon it looks like, oh, hey, we delivered it.
No, see, you prove to me that they didn't drop it off.
Because you always get the email or the notification and it shows the photo of the item being delivered.
There is this element now of like the whole idea of them taking a picture is because Amazon's having to prove that it was delivered. And now I've got to have video of them taking the picture and stealing it.
The picture actually is nice. In my neighborhood, they're always delivering to the wrong address. So what you can do is take a pic, like you look at the pic and see what does that house look like where it was delivered at. Yeah. And you can post it to see if someone will say, hey, that's my house, it's here. Okay. Or you can go walk around and try to find it. So it is somewhat helpful.
That's kind of interesting.
If you can't find it. But it makes me wonder, like we have porch pirates all the time, but maybe in the back when we were all worried about that, maybe drivers were still taking them then.
I felt like such a creeper. I went over to my neighbor's house the other day. They're brand new. I've only met them one time because I got a notice that something had been delivered, and they had a huge stack of stuff on their porch. I had nothing.
Yeah.
So I went over. They weren't home, and I just started going through their packages, and I'm just like, man, if they've got a camera, they're like, look, here's footage of my neighbor stealing my stuff.
That's why I don't know why drivers, like, why is it the trend for them to try that, or delivery people? Because not everybody, but enough people have cameras now to get caught.
Right. I don't know, Nikki. I just know this. Amazon's watching. But we have to watch Amazon.
You have to watch back.
Mutually assured destruction. It's the only way we can make it work.
That's horrible, too. You're waiting for your MacBook. Like, you know he was excited to get that, and he's watching out for it. And then there it goes. It gets stolen.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Nikki? He shouldn't have been buying a MacBook anyway.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, where do you stand on key lime pie?
I like a good key lime pie.
Do you?
I do.
That's
it's
interesting.
Refreshing.
Is it?
That and a derby pie, those are two I'll say yes to.
Okay.
I'm not saying the derby one's refreshing, but a key lime pie, that'll do.
No, when you have derby pie, you have to lay down.
Oh, yeah. That's like a weighted blanket on your body.
It's swallowing a stun grenade.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you always have to have ice cream with it, and it has to be warm and delicious. But for key lime pie, that's nice. It'll do.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. You've completely distracted me with that derby pie.
I've derailed you with the derby one? Well, that's not
so
being
good.
offered, so you don't have a choice with this.
You're right, Nikki. The key lime Kitkat. So, key lime pie Kitkat, I feel like we've had this.
I thought it was a flavor, too, but I can't tell. Sometimes we try international flavors.
Right.
And Kit Kats, they run different in different parts of the world.
Boy, that's true.
So sometimes the flavor might be released somewhere else, but not here. Or was it like a word game? Like there was a key lime, but now is this a key lime pie? Like,
oh, yeah. Okay.
Is it got the graham cracker sort of crust thing with it? But they're saying that the key lime Oreos are going to be the flavor soon.
The key lime pie Oreos are going to be a flavor. They say it's a spring flavor. So you'll want to get out there and enjoy spring. As Nikki said, be refreshed. And
the pie will do that. I don't know if the Oreos will do that.
No, they're not. See? Do you see what just happened?
What?
It's Kit Kat. It's not Oreo.
Oh, you're right.
See how
it all
just runs together.
It's because we have those behind you. We have the frosted strawberry donut ones.
Yeah.
We have those Oreos. Yeah, Oreos, I think, came out with a key lime pie one.
That feels right to me.
Not Kit Kat. Okay, so Kit Kat. Oh, my gosh, there's too much. There's too much.
Yeah.
Too many of these treats.
It's crazy. All these Frankenfoods running around. We don't know what's going on.
They're going to hurt themselves because we're going to be like, yeah, we already had it. And we haven't. We had the Oreo ones.
All right, well, we'll keep our eyes open for the key lime pie Kit Kats.
That'll be out this spring.
Or, from what I can tell, if you just happen to find a key lime pie, Nikki will also be interested in that.
Where can I get that at? I feel like it's better, like in Florida, than maybe what we have here.
Could be.
Those aren't real limes. They're using lime juice.
Is key lime pie, does that mean it's from the Keys?
Yeah, it's more to that area.
Is that really where it gets its name?
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, I believe you because I don't have a reason not to.
Because the best key lime pie I had was
in the Keys?
Southern Florida. I don't think I wasn't in the Keys, but I was close enough.
Close enough to, you could have driven there?
Close enough to count, yeah.
The closest I've been to the Keys is watching the finale of True Lies. I guess it wasn't the finale.
Oh, the bridge?
It was the bridge sequence with the Harriers.
Yeah.
The finale was on the building. If you go drop it.
Well, I've driven the whole way down and then back up to Miami.
Really?
And that's where I got like severe motion sickness. And when you're driving in between the Keys, like it is just bridges and there's no way to go. Like you just got to keep driving. I just remember just praying for some key lime pie.
And then after that, some key lime pie was there for me.
It's like, but I was with people and I just kept saying, like, don't, like, you couldn't throw up. Like, there was no place to pull over. Sometimes I get car sick and it's bad.
Yeah. And then when it was all over, there was a cool, refreshing piece. No, see, when you put it in context, it makes way more sense to me.
Do you have severe motion sickness? Well, get you some key lime pie.
I had a bite, and then I just put my face down in the pie, and it was so refreshing.
Next time, if I have a long car ride, I'm just going to have to get one ahead of time.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the Riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
You know what just occurred to me, Nikki?
What?
The ceiling in our studio was a lie.
Because it's just tiles, and then there's it's a drop ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tiles, and then when you take the tiles back, you see what's really going on.
Well, it shows you how tall the ceiling could be.
It could be.
But we have a lot of lighting and cameras and stuff above us, like on the drop part of the ceiling, so they're updating some of that stuff, which is why some of the tiles are gone.
See, the thing is that if those tiles were all in place, you'd never know about the lie, but after a while, sometimes the stress of life begins to erode away at the tiles, and sometimes we can see the inside that you're trying to hide. See, this all occurred to me when I saw that electric wire sticking out up there, and I thought...
saw it all.
I saw it all, dude, and I just want you to know that in that moment, I was like, God. No, I'm not losing my mind, really. You know, God sees past your drop ceiling. He sees past your false exterior, and he knows what's really going on.
The part that looks good to everybody that just walks in.
They're like, no, it's fine. It's beautiful.
Wonderful.
They don't see the mess of wires underneath it all and how it's barely holding it up. Whatever. It's fine. I just want you to know that God sees past whatever the exterior is. You think nobody sees you. You think nobody cares. I want you to know somebody cares. And Jesus loves you. He loves the mess that you're hiding. He wants to help us. I'm not saying that he's like, yeah, just continue to live in terror or whatever. God really does want to help us. But look, you're seen, you're heard, and you're loved, period. If you don't know Jesus, you should see, hear, and love him because he loves you. And if you want to start a friendship with him, a relationship, you can say, Jesus, come into my life, fill me with your spirit. I want to be friends with you, God. I want to know you for who you really are. And you know, if you already know him, I want to just remind you, hey, you're seen and loved. Talk to God about your mess, or maybe even the places where your drop ceiling is cracking. Maybe you could pull it out. Totally up to you.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what I mean? It's The Riot on RadioU.
Man, Eric, who sponsored the Bang conversation earlier this morning.
I decided to drop off something else.
Okay, so what do you got there?
Well, Dr. Pepper is the only doctor that personally comes to us.
House calls.
That we can do the house calls with. And we're a longtime fan of anything that comes out, usually like the diet Dr. Pepper stuff. But he was saying, is the zero sugar Dr. Pepper new?
He says it's brand new, and I'll just tell you this. Nikki, I trust Eric.
You trust if he's saying that?
I do.
I just don't want them to go away with, like, I know so many want to go away from the diet Dr. Pepper or the diet drink to the zero versions, but I don't like them as much because I know they're just trying to taste like the regular flavor.
I actually don't. Okay.
I prefer the diet flavor.
I thought that diet, no. It would be Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Is that what they call it? I think it tastes pretty good. But I feel weird after I drink that.
You do?
I'm serious. There's something in that, and I don't know what it is, but nope.
Can't do it.
I don't drink it.
But Diet Mountain Dew, you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been just sucking on that poison for so long, I'm completely used to it.
Well, that's since baby OB, so your body's real used to that.
Yeah. So here we have Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, which... Again, I assume is at least a little different than Diet Dr. Pepper. Nikki's going in for the drink.
There it is.
It does not taste the same as Diet Dr. Pepper.
It does not.
It does not.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's just so regular tasting. No, I don't like it.
You know what?
And I also like it really chilled. Like, I like a good soda real cold.
Yeah, this is like a room temperature.
But an A for effort.
You really don't like it?
No, I don't.
I like it.
I really like the diet taste. I just always had diet sodas, so I'm just so used to it. I'm not ready for change yet. I don't want to change.
I mean, I would take a Diet Dr. Pepper over this.
Yeah.
Because in reality, and this is what they're riffing on, but it reminds me of Coke Zero. Mm-hmm. I don't like Coke Zero. I never have. And it must be some different way that they're sweetening it. Some other, I don't know, ancient plague that they've turned into some sort of a sweetening device.
But we'll still keep drinking it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you have it in your cup. You don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, the diet or the Dr. Pepper zero sugar, that's that.
Well, if you don't want it, I'll drink it.
I know, I shouldn't have drank out of it. Then
listen, do you think I care?
You're fine.
I got to tell you. Now, if you were drinking after me, I would be like, don't do that.
But you can have the bottle.
But the other way around, what the heck do I care?
You know what was nice, though, is Eric comes prepared because he got me a Diet Coke from the fountain. I have to stop soda, and I can't because every morning this is what people bring.
All I can say is I'm sorry, ladies, but he's taken.
I just got
He's one of the good ones.
I know. When he goes, well, he was disappointed because he brought us soda last week.
Yes.
And one of them was like, mine was really flat tasting.
Really?
It seemed like the mix was wrong. And he was saying that people have been talking about fountain machines across our city have been having issues with a quality product.
I agree. You have to know your supplier. There are places you can go and get something good and places where they're screwing you over.
And you have to kind of like test it while you're, making your soda.
I've done that too.
I think he felt bad, so he brought in a fresh one, and this one tastes good.
I have gone to soda fountains, taken a drink of their mix, and thrown the cup away and walked out.
No, you got to throw it on the floor and let them know you know what they're doing.
I mean, the thing is, that's on a management level. That clerk don't know.
What if, because some places are just skimming and just like not doing the full mix like they used to, and they're just being cheap about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. RadioU.
I'm looking at the photo of a very happy man.
Yeah.
This photo was taken on March 12th, 2020, and this man is holding a 24-pack of toilet paper.
Hey, are you looking back on Facebook? I think yesterday was the year of the COVID, like the 1-year anniversary of a lot of the COVID stuff.
Maybe.
Kind of like the date where everybody was like, all right, well, we have to do this for 2 weeks.
Right.
Kind of like that starting off point. But yeah, that was toilet paper time.
Let me see. I think...
Was that the one you got at Home Depot?
Lowe's.
Lowe's? Oh, that's
Close
right.
enough. Okay, so no. I think the kickoff of the everybody staying at home thing, was that for us? Was that March 6th or would it have been March 13th?
I don't know.
Might have been March 13th.
Well,
I just
we're not
know
celebrating it, so that'd be tomorrow. Like, I guess I have to know.
Why not?
Well, I'm not doing anything for it because that's still the thing.
I'm going to go to the bathroom tomorrow
and you have
celebrate.
You still have toilet paper that you're stockpiling?
Yeah, I do, so it's fine.
Oh,
Whatever.
I remember that weekend, though. And again, depending on where you're listening from, different states started at different times. But
yeah.
I remember Obie and I were doing the show one morning, and I legitimately needed, like, toilet paper. Like, hey, when you go to the store next, you're like, okay, that'll be it. And
Nikki started panicking.
Everybody kept saying no places have toilet paper anymore. And I'm like, that's not true. You lying. And, like, we started hearing Costco was out of it. Like, we had waited too long. And then I remember going on to Amazon, and Amazon was sold out of everything. And Nikki has never experienced someone saying, no, you can't have toilet paper. Because I would always go to Amazon and they'd say, yes, we have something.
I really wish you guys could have been in here that morning to watch the slow dawning realization and fear that there might not be toilet paper for Nikki.
I'm sure like grandparents and maybe parents have gone through things where, you just couldn't have it, like it wasn't around. But we very rarely...
No, we don't know what that's like.
...get told, no, you can't have this. You might pay a premium for it. But and so then we got word of, someone said, like, oh, try Home Depot and Lowe's because no one remembers that they have toilet paper there.
Toilet paper.
And we went that morning and got, like, the big rolls, and that was it.
Yeah, I did. I totally did. And then even... I eventually worked through that, and I will say, for whatever reason, it was a couple of weeks ago, a couple months ago, Amazon had some kind of a deal on toilet paper, and I bought a case. It's a huge box. And I was like, I took it, and I stuck it in a closet, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to pretend like I don't have it.
No, but just in case, because we can't go through that part again.
Everybody's like, oh, the pandemic's over, here's a check, but I don't know.
Well, we just heard stories of people who did run out
Oh, man,
Of,
seriously, guys.
T-shirts and
I can still see the look on Nikki's face as she's like texting and calling Eric, like, Eric.
Amazon's out. Whoever thought that was possible?
They don't have Eric.
Get in the car now. And I remember he got in the car and took our dog Rolo, and he just went over to Lowe's
and got some toilet paper.
Oh, those are fun memories of that. You look back, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, how fun was that?
It seems fun now. Like our trip to New York. I remember being so exhausted and my feet feeling like they were going to fall off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? When we look back on this, all we're going to talk about is how much fun it was.
That's true. You look back at a year at your memories and you're like, wow, that we went through that, didn't we?
We sure did.
Aww.
We sure did.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
After my biscuit steamer, I'm feeling a lot better.